Hi, friends. Every month I look forward to sharing stories with you. To share and to understand life through this medium has now become a very interesting journey for me. Today, let us understand what is an attitude of gratitude. A man dreamt that he went to heaven. His angel guide showed him different rooms. As they were walking, the angel stopped him at the first section and said, "This is receiving section where all the petitions to God in prayers received." It was terribly busy, and a huge number of angels were sorting out petitions written by the people from all over the world. As they moved on, the angel stopped at the second section and said, "This is the packing and delivery section. Here the graces and blessings the people ask for are processed and delivered to the living person who asked for them." This section too was quite busy, and many angels were working to deliver the blessings to earth. Finally, at the corner was a very small section with only one angel seated, idle, doing nothing. "This is the acknowledgement section," said the angel, feeling quite embarrassed. To the queries of the man, the angel said, "After people receive the blessings that they have asked for, very few send back acknowledgement." "How does one acknowledge God's blessings?" asked the man. "Very simple," the angel answered. "Just say, 'Thank you, Lord.'" I'm certain our parents and teachers made sure we were taught these two words, thank you and sorry, while we were small children. These words supposed to be spontaneous and an overflow of our emotions. They imply thank you for any favors received and sorry for small or big mistakes made. Both these words build our relationship with one another and bridge the gaps, if any, when we relate to people. Being thankful is what makes us humane. But these days, we do notice that this very important quality of heart is disappearing at an alarming rate. Usually, we use the term gratitude to express thankfulness and praise. All of us know that gratitude is the act of feeling and communicating appreciation to God, people, and circumstances or situation in our lives. Being thankful and expressing gratitude is not something new. It has been part of our life from the time human beings existed. We read in the scriptures and other writings that people of all nations expressing gratitude to God for the various blessings and favors received, especially for God's love, mercy, and benevolence, good health, plentiful harvest, victory over enemies, and so on. We have umpteen reasons to be grateful for. How do we express our gratitude? What is my first reaction when I rise in the morning? Those of us who are fortunate to see the dawn of the new day, do we say, "Thank you, Lord, for this new day," while many others were not privileged to see the light of another day? How many of us thank God for the gift of our body and all its functions? Just think of the way the Lord has knit our bodies so skillfully that we find it difficult to fathom God's marvels. No human beings could ever envisage of creating such an intricate body and all its functions. Most of us are not even aware of the way our body functions. All those who are healthy and hale realize its worth and think of God when we get sick or when we meet a handicapped person. To quote Helen Keller, "I cried because I had no shoes until I met a person who had no feet." If we could take some time off today and take an account of just one day, the blessings we receive from God are certainly innumerable. It is said, God gives and gives and forgives, and we humans get and forget. God does not require our gratitude. However, God deserves our ceaseless thanks and praise for all the wonders and marvels He works in our life at every moment. When Jesus cured 10 lepers, only one came back, praising God in a loud voice. He threw himself at the feet of Jesus and thanked him. Looking at him, Jesus asked, "Were not all 10 cleansed? Where are the other 9? Has no one returned to give praise to God except you?" To acknowledge what the Lord has done in our lives is a duty and responsibility. During our school or college days, we used to sing on special occasions. Count your blessings, name them one by one. Count your many blessings, see what God has done. But seldom have we remembered to be grateful to God who created us, continues to love and forgive us every day, showers His blessings on us daily, and provides us with all the good things to sustain our life. Likewise, think of the people we depend on every day, in season and out of season. Our parents work very hard day after day to provide us food, shelter, education, and all kinds of comfort we ask for. Do we even acknowledge their sacrifices while they work to give us all that we ask for and more? Not that any parents seek acknowledgement or appreciation from their children. But do you know how beautiful it would be if we could acknowledge and appreciate our parents and their efforts with a genuine and sincere heart? How wonderfully it would nurture and strengthen our relationship with them? How would it change us as people and make us more sincere and sensible, conscientious, and most importantly, happy people, spreading joy, love, and happiness all around us? We receive all kinds of services from different people who work around us. Our housekeepers, drivers, public transport personnel, attendants at gas stations, waiters at restaurants, shopkeepers, and so many more people to whom we pay least attention. We neither recognize their presence nor do we acknowledge them for the service they do. We take them and their work for granted. Don't you think it would be nice to say thank you with a smile? How would it alter the dynamics and at the same time add some more meaning to our own lives? I would say try it. We have come to a situation where this world is now only a big marketplace where goods and services are bought and sold. Life and relationships are being transactional. We have commodified everything and we are only respectful and thankful to purchasing power. That is the human tragedy. A student of mine just reminded me of a one-liner from our childhood. God made man, man made money, and money made man mad. Funnily true. Whoever created these one-liners deserves our thanks for adding meaning and laughter in our lives. Coming to the present, we are currently dealing with the biggest pandemics of this century, COVID-19. We are wearing masks for safety and going about our life with caution. But even with the mask on, why not our gratefulness shine through our eyes and be manifested in our deeds? A text message, a phone call, a gentle word, a kind look, a sweet smile, a loving deed, an ardent prayer will be a beautiful note of gratitude to the doctors, nurses, healthcare workers, the police personnel, the COVID victims, and all those who have helped us to face these challenges of uncertainty, anxiety, and the dreaded disease. I received a forwarded message which I find very appropriate to quote here. After getting healed of COVID-19, a 93 years old man in Italy was asked to pay for the ventilator for one day. While receiving the bill, the man cried, and the doctor advised him not to cry over the bill. But the old man said, "I don't cry because of the money I have to pay. I can pay all the money. I cry because I have been breathing God's air for 93 years, but I never pay for it. It takes 500 euros to use ventilator in a hospital for one day. Do you know how much I owe God? I didn't thank God for that before. What the old man said is perfectly true. We breathe in the fresh air freely without pain or illness for ages. An eternity will not be sufficient to thank God for His gratuitous gift of nature to us. We have only received and exploited all of it, and we constantly greed for more. But now, let's take time to introspect and change the course of our reckless and casual attitude and try to bring ourselves to appreciate the goodness and abundance of all that we have received. And trust me, we will continue being blessed. Gratitude inspires us to be spiritual beings. We begin to see God in every person and in everything. It creates in us a feeling of abundance rather than deprivation. So let's stay motivated and experience positive feelings which can improve our health. It enables us to become kind and compassionate persons, more trusting, more social, more optimistic. It evokes pleasant and happy feelings in us and helps us to make more friends and builds up our relationship even with a kind look, a gentle word, a loving deed, or pleasant gestures. It strengthens the relationship between the spouses, parents and children, teachers and students, employees and employees, and so on. The very virtue of gratitude is to focus on others. Therefore, a grateful person is not self-centered but other-centered, and hence they are loved and accepted by others. Let us be grateful and experience the divine and enjoy peace and contentment in our lives. Dear friends, is it possible for us to develop an attitude of gratitude and appreciate every person, situation, and the nature around us, and thank God for everything that happens to us? Do you believe in the oft used quote, "Gratitude is the fairest blossom which springs from our soul"? Thank you, and God bless us all.